Let's take a look at this first problem here. As soon as I find my pen, there it is. Okay, I guess I need to bring up the tablet. There we go. And says a certain flight arrives on time 85% of the time. Suppose 136 flights are randomly selected. Use a normal approximation of the binomial to approximate the probability that between 104 and 109 inclusive are on time. Well, let's see what we're talking about. Inclusive. That means I'm going from 104 to 109, and it includes those values. Now we have to do our 0.5 correction to make sure that those are included. So over here I'm going to subtract 0.5. That'll be 103.5. And over here I'll add 0.5. That'll give us 109.5. And then we shade what's in between them. Basic guideline is if your wording includes these numbers, then your shading has to include it after you do the 0.5 correction. If I had added a 0.5 to this 104, then the shading would not have included this. Okay, so we're going to go from this value to this value. Now our mean. Normally, if I was doing this in the calculator, we would use normal CDF, and we do our low value, our high value, our mean, which is n times p, and then the standard deviation, which is square root of n times p times 1 minus p. Well, in Excel, we still need the mean, and we still need the standard deviation. I had to refresh my memory on this before I created this video. Haven't done it in Excel for a while. Let me see, suppose 136 flights are randomly selected. So n is 136. We also need p for these. Actually, times 1 minus p inside of parentheses. Sorry about that. It says it arrives on time 85% of the time. And down here we're asking about it arriving on time. So p would equal to 0.85. Well, Excel is not based upon low and high. It's based upon the area, the probability to the left. So we would have our first one, 109.5. We would take that, and then we'd subtract off the 103.5. If I started with this area and I subtracted off this, that would leave me everything between 103.5 and 109.5. Now this is going to be equals norm dist, and then we'll put in 109.5, our mean, which is n times p, and just kind of scrolled a little bit too much there. N is 136, so we've got 136 times 0.85 times p, comma, the square root of n, which is 136, times p, which is 0.85, times, and then inside of parentheses 1 minus p, so 1 minus 0.85. Closing parentheses on that, closing parentheses on the square root, closing parentheses on norm dist. Minus, that's this first one here, this right here. Then minus this right here, which would be norm dist, 103.5, 136 times 0.85. This is all the same. Square root of 136 times 0.85 times 1 minus 0.85. Closing parentheses on that, closing parentheses on the square root, closing parentheses on norm dist. Okay, let's go do this in Excel. And I'll type it in right here. I'm just going to type in exactly what I just put. Norm dist 109.5, comma. Actually, you may not be able to see it there. Wish I was better Excel. Yeah, I can just scoot that down. Okay, there we go. I think that's what I wanted. Okay, equals norm dist 109.5, comma, 136 times, that's above the 8, 0.85, comma, square root of 136 times 0.85 times, beginning parentheses, 1 minus 0.85, closing parentheses on that, closing parentheses on square root, closing parentheses on norm dist, minus norm dist, 103.5, comma, 136 times 0.85, comma, square root of 136 times 0.85 times, beginning parentheses, 1 minus 0.85, closing parentheses on that, and then those. Forgot to true. After the standard deviation, we'll do comma and then true. That's for cumulative. Guess I should have reviewed a little bit more about Excel before I did this. Okay, true. And I don't remember if this was a correct answer it puts here. I'll have to double check that to make sure. Hopefully I can get into it. It allows some kind of variation though. You won't get the exact answer. You'll actually get a more precise answer than the book, because the book is using tables, and tables are based upon rounding. Excel does not use rounding, so this would be your answer. Now, just in case I cannot get in to actually see what your correct answer was, if I don't know, I'm having some trouble with my computer with Excel, with Internet Explorer / Chrome and Home getting into my MATLAB. I can see it when I get back to the main campus on Tuesday, but again, if that doesn't look kosher with what you did, then let me know. Now let me see what you got. .06. Boy, my eyes are bad. Probably looking right at it, and I just don't see it. 0.06. Assuming I'm looking at the right problem. I'm not seeing it. But anyway, that shows you how to use Excel to do that. Now let's look at the this next one here. This one took a little bit of thought process to figure out. Yeah, increase the size of that. And let me go to sheet 3 and do some of my work here. This is question 9 we're taking a look at. And we'll look at part B. Okay. Now, step 1, we want to find the mean and standard deviation. And so mu sub p hat, and I'm going to put it in A2. So I'm going to come over here in A1, this is going to be our mean. And then equals, we're going to put p in there. Well, p in this problem, proportion or satisfied is obtained. Okay. Actually, you already calculated these. I guess I should look to part A. But anyway, P is 0.82. So I'll put in equals 0.82. Now our mean, mu sub p hat, we're going to put in B2. So here I got standard deviation equals, and then B2. I better not do equals yet. We're gonna, okay, square root. So equals square root, beginning parentheses, and then A2 times, then beginning parentheses 1 minus A2, close parentheses on that, divided by n, which n was what was n? 105 Americans. So divided by 105. What does it look like? Okay, A2 times 1 minus A2 divided by 105. I don't see anything wrong there. Oh, A2. Shh. I messed up. B1. Okay, let me try this again. I should read my own instructions. I meant to put 8.82 there. Okay, and this one's going to be our standard deviation, so equals square root A2 times, beginning parentheses 1 minus A2, divided by 105. Okay. So, and let me get rid of that parentheses, or equals, I mean. Okay, so that's our mean and standard deviation, which should match what you got here. 0.0037, 0.037, yeah. Oops. Okay, so let's find this on what they're looking for. The probability at least 82 Americans in a sample are satisfied is 0.8599. They don't give us p hat here, so let me draw a picture of this. My instructions are based upon having p hat. At least 82 Americans. So at least 82 means 82 or greater, like that. Now this is x. Now to change this to p hat, the picture looks exactly the same, shading to the right like that, but p hat is equal to x over n, which is equal to 82 over 105, which gives us 2 divided by 105 gives us this. So I got 0.7809 52, and that's probably enough decimal places. It goes out 6 places. Typically you don't want to do any rounding in the middle of your problem. Okay, so that's p hat. So let's go back to our PowerPoint. Now convert the value you're working with to a z-score. Round z-score to 2 decimal places. If necessary, put z-score on the right side in C4. So we're going to put it in C2 here, but if you got another one, you could put it down here. So this is going to be our first z. We only have one. You'd have 2 if it's between 2 values. Okay, and then we're going to have equals p hat. So equals, and the fact I put p hat over here works out well because I can go ahead and just refer to it directly. But notice there's parentheses around those. So I do beginning parentheses. I'll put in F1 minus A2 close parentheses divided by B2. There we go. Okay, and now plug in one of the following 3 forms into D2. So this is going to give us our probability. Okay. Again, it takes me a little while to think about Excel. Okay, this is where it's greater than, where it's shaded to the right. Our second one is where it's less than, and this is between, where it's between. Well, we said from our picture we're looking shaded to the right. So that's going to be this first one. So we're going to do equals 1 minus norm dist, beginning parentheses, C2, comma, 0 for our mean, standard deviation is 1, and cumulative we'll put true in. And close parentheses and enter. And oops, 0.8599, 0.8512. I'm assuming this is your if I quit pressing Alt Tab, I'm assuming this was your answer, and if you put a mouse over it, it shows you the correct answer. But that's how you could do that in Excel. Now let me see what you've done. Area to the left. J34, which is your z-score. Is that what I came up with? Negative 1.0415. Now this one I can see. Negative 1.0415, yep. And well, that should count that correct. I'm guessing that they didn't include the Excel version into these answers, because that's correct. Area to the left. It's 1 minus that. This down here, z-score, okay, I'm assuming you got these correct. Z-score is equal to J42, which is p hat. Where's J42? X divided by n. That says 110. 105. That's where that one's came off. I'm looking here. Not quite sure if I see a p hat. I'm probably looking right at it. Is that it there? 0.03. 0.78. Divided by 105. So that's 105 there. Oh, this one's changed. It's 110. Nah, never mind. Looks like it's correct. I'm just guessing they didn't put the Excel version of this. I'm going to go in and modify those to give you credit on those. Anyway.